many times can a man turn his head and pretend he just doesn't see? The answer, my friend, is always in the middle. The answer is going in the end. How many times must a man look up before he can see the sky? How many ears must one man have before he can hear people cry? How many deaths will it take till you know so many people have died? The answer, my friend, is still blowing in the wind. The answer is still blowing in the
Hi, y'all.
Good morning. How many times must this congregation hear Bill and Sue sing before we show them some love? Thank you, Bill. Thank you, Sue. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Congregation in the Shenandoah Valley, and I dare you to say that fast 3 times. My name is Larry Perlman. I'm a member of the board. My job to welcome you in and to remind you to please either disconnect, silence, turn off, or otherwise destroy your cell phones or anything you have that might make noise. We are a welcoming congregation. We honor the inherent worth and dignity of every individual, no matter how you come to that. Whether you come to that inside yourself because of this place, because of some other religious tradition, because of science, however, whatever gets you there, we support that. We like to say, we don't have to think alike to love alike. Though we have no specific creed, if you check out your order of service, you will see our mission statement on the front and our 8 principles on the back. Well, thank you. It takes courage to come into a community for the very first time. And so we honor those who are here for the first time or just the second or third time, and we'd like to welcome you in. So for anybody who is here for just the first or second time, or maybe hasn't just been here in a while, or anybody who feels like standing up to introduce themselves, but not everybody. We'll start on this side. Is there anybody here who would like to tell us who you are and where you're from?
I'm Laura Smith, and I'm from Clemens, North Carolina, and I love Black Mountain. I would be living here, except I have 12 grandchildren close to the and I can't get away.
Understand.
I'm Diane Campbell. She's from Clemens. I was from Paulding.
Oh, you're from
But yeah, I'm sort of visiting, maybe permanently. So.
Anybody else? Oh,
Oh, no,
I'm Scott Coughlin. I've been attending for nigh on 20 years, but I rarely pay attention, so it's always new.
Hi, I'm Emily. I just moved to Old Fort, North Carolina by way of California. So.
wow. Welcome.
We're Dean and Randy, and we live in Black Mountain, and we just came to check it out.
Welcome. Hope we don't scare you off. Anybody else over on this side? Well, let's give equal time to this side. Any new people or people who are back after a while? Don't be shy.
I'm Jennifer Philo, and this is my wife Jenny and my son Zach, and we are from Atlanta.
Well, welcome. Hope you spend a little time here. Anyone else on this side?
Hey y'all, it's Luca. I haven't seen any of you in a while. I moved into Asheville from Charlotte nearby last year, so happy to be here again this morning and share with you all my Reverend Mass and two visits. Thanks.
Wonderful, welcome. One last chance? Going?
I'm Maggie O'Neill and I'm walking.
Welcome back, Maggie. Good to see you upright.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, well, no. Anyone else over there? I'm getting in trouble. Well, welcome to everybody. If you'd like to learn a little bit more about us, you can fill out one of these little white cards. You may find them in the pews in front of you by the songbooks. If not, there'll be some out on the table in the portico. And we'd be happy to get in touch with you, to let you, or to send you our weekly newsletter, whatever you'd like us to do. I do have an announcement today. We don't generally make announcements, but we are starting a new policy, and that's going to be, we have lots of committees, and most people probably don't really understand what our committees do. So once a month in the foyer after service, there will be a table set up with a committee member there to tell you what that committee does and see if you're interested in participating or just knowing about it. And today it will be the membership committee. So feel free after service when we're having coffee and cake together to go over to that table and talk to the person who will tell you about the membership committee. Basically, what we usually do for announcements is they're in our weekly newsletter called The Current. If you'd like to get that, then sign one of those little things and it'll come out to you and tell you everything that we're doing for the next week or two. We also have a bulletin board. As you go out this door, just to your right, you'll see announcements out there, not only for what we do, but the community. You might want to take a look at that. It's our practice to acknowledge that the land we are currently on has not always been ours. UUCSB respectfully acknowledges that the land we are on today is the ancestral home of the Cherokee and other indigenous people, and that through stewardship, understanding, and conservation, they survived and continue to thrive in this land. We would acknowledge their enduring connection to their homeland. Now, let our service begin.
Well, good morning. Good morning. Happy New Year. Many of you I haven't seen since Christmas Eve. It's good to see you. Thank you for being here this morning. Our opening words are by Martha Curbo Capo, Unitarian Universalist. There are those among us who have endured a loss in the past week. May their hope be uplifted again in this, our community of faith. May they find renewed strength, because there are those among us who have wrestled with questions that seem to have no answer this past week. May they find sanctuary in this congregation of faith. There are those of us who have cherished an unexpected joy in the past week. May your gladness be celebrated. As we commit to continue our free and responsible search for truth, may we covenant to honor the many paths that have led us here to this congregation. Thank you, and thank you, Diane. Our opening hymn this morning, please rise as you are willing and able, is hymn number 153. Number 153. I woke up this morning. Stay reading in the back of the great hymnal, number 732, since this is Martin's Day. We'll read this responsibly. Great Spirit of light and darkness, open our hearts to the anguish of our pain, to the tired taste of swallowed tears, and to our unrealized vision.
In this place we bring our scattered lives together, groping for meaning and looking for truth.
Be with us as we continue our search for understanding of the mystery of the temporal.
Stay with us as we wander through our memories, seeking pathways to the future.
Move with us as we unravel the implied imperatives of hopes unfulfilled.
Justice makes tireless demands, and we grow weary.
As we touch one another in common cause, and with the Great Spirit in our midst.
Let us find the way and the courage to realize the dream which still lives within us.
Amen.
It's all. Okay, there we go. I think I've got it. It's second Sunday. I'm music director Linda Metzner, and on second Sundays we have special music performances. Today we have Bill Altork performing almost all his own selections, and sometimes we have Suchitra Temesrisuk, his partner, singing and providing the percussion. Bill is enjoying life in his 77th year. He lives happily with Suchitra on their tiny ranch up on Woodland Drive in Swannanoa. Bill's music and songs are therapy to him, and hopefully others as well. Also make a note that he's changed around every song on your program, so I might ask him what he's singing.
Yes, I apologize for that. I had it planned out, but Sue and I decided to do things more together and a little differently. So actually, this is the only original song in the four I'm going to do. This is my song. It's called Time for a Revelation. Children were all hypnotized, stuck inside the dream that something good would come around again. They had heard it all before, the promise fades away, staring again at the empty platter. People are singing the hope they are bringing, the song of a hungry prayer. No more denying, done with the crying. It's about time we get there. The rainbow still has all the colors. The water still falls from the sky. Down at the stable, child being born. Some say he's the savior of the world. What does it do to you to live your life in vain? Don't you worry, you'll be back again. The point we are missing, the love that is kissing you, let's see how far it will go. All we are asking, the pain you are masking, take it off and give us a show. The passage is there for crossing. You know you can make it if you try. The river is getting wider, the water's turning clear. Once again, you can see the bottom. Closer to your neighbor, offer up a little smile. You can see the clock is winding down. This ain't the season for tricks or for treason. The truth is bursting inside. The gift you are given, a life that's worth living. Right now, let's take it for a ride. Time for a revelation. Time to let the old ways go. Sitting at your bedside, facing the morning light, you are ready, you are able. Find the solution, put yourself in gear. Let's all bring more food to the table. Books have been written, answers are given, nothing left to leave behind. All the hidden meaning, the messengers are screaming, I want you just be more kind. The moon is high in the sky tonight, help you to find your way along. Thank you all.
This is the time in the service where we invite you to come up and drop a stone in the water or light a candle. I just wanted to let you know that Ann Silman is back at Mission Hospital with pneumonia. That's all I have right now. I know some of you may go, Mary may try to visit her today. I will try and see her this week. She's been having a rough time. So keep her in your thoughts and prayers. And having said that, the floor is yours. This stone is for those of you who, for whatever reason, decided not to come up. Just know that we keep you in our thoughts and prayers. Did anyone need me to bring you the stones? Okay. I want to share with you a meditation by Dr. Howard Thurman, and afterwards we will have our time of quiet. So I invite you to center yourselves as you are most comfortable. This is called Through the Coming Year. For those of you who don't know Howard Thurman, he was a mentor to Dr. King and a mystic, and one of the premier theologians in the history of this country, at least the 20th century. Thurman writes, "Grant that I may pass through the coming year with a faithful heart. There will be much to test me and make weak my strength before the year ends. In my confusion, I shall often say the word that is not true and do the thing for which I am ashamed. There will be errors in the mind and great inaccuracies of judgment. In seeking the light, I shall again and again find myself walking in the darkness. I shall mistake my light for your light, and I shall drink from the responsibility of the choice I make. Nevertheless, grant that I may pass through the coming year with a faithful heart. May I never give the approval of my heart to error, to falseness, and to vanity. And though my days be marked with failures, stumblings, fallings, let my spirit be free so that you may take it and redeem my moments in all the ways my needs reveal. Give me the quiet assurance of your love and presence. Grant that I may pass through the coming year with a faithful heart." And now for this brief moment while our minds are one, I leave each and every one of you with the eloquence of silence. And so it is. William James reminds us that the greatest use of life is to spend it on something that will outlast it. In that spirit, we now collect this morning's offering.
My granddaughter. Oh, am I on? Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
There you go. Now you can hear me. My granddaughter Natasha.
Feedback.
has a little gesture. That's echo, that's not feedback.
Now, kids. Stop the king day.
Interestingly enough, the name of the next song is The Boxer. But she has a gesture when she has something inside of her that she wants to get rid of. It goes like this. And that's for the butterflies Sue and I are trying to get rid of right now. I'm just a poor boy, though my story's seldom told. I have squandered my resistance for a pocket full of mumbles, such are promises. All lies and jest, still a man hears what he wants to hear, and disregards the rest. La, 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 la. When I left my home and family, I was no more than a boy, in the company of strangers, in the quiet of the railway station, running scared, laying low, seeking out the poorer quarters where the ragged people go, looking for the places only they would know. La la la. Asking only workmen's wages, I come looking for a job, but I get no offers. Just to come on from the whores on 7th Avenue. I do declare, there were times I was so lonesome, I took some comfort there. La, 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 la. I am laying out my winter clothes, wishing I was gone, going home, where the New York City winters are bleeding me to going home. In the clearing stands a boxer and a fighter by his trade, and he carries the reminders of every glove that laid him down or cut him till he cried out in his anger and his shame, I am leaving, but the fighter still remains. I am leaving, but the fighter still remains. La la la. La
Thank you for your generosity. And thank you, Bill.
Yes.
Oh, I have some jokes for you. They are terrible. So for those of you who are new, you know, every few weeks we do bad jokes. And I just have to find them. Ah, here's one. I bought some shoes from a drug dealer. I'm not sure that what they were laced with, but I've been tripping all day. What do you call 100 sheep rolling down a hill? A landslide. I know. You're going to throw a shoe at me. Hold on. I got one more. Wait a minute. I got one more. I don't want to give them all to you now. We have 360 some days ago. I found stir fry all over my bed this morning. I must have been sleepwalking again. Oh, I know. Oh, I love you. Okay. Now we'll go on. If you come next week, then maybe more. So I want to talk about grudges. And I want to use this reading from a Zen Buddhist monk named Ezra Beda. And it's not lengthy, but this is the quote. One particular difficulty, which is one of the most effective catalysts to awakening the heart, is experiencing the pain of remorse. Sometimes we get a glimpse of the fact when we're not living, well, when we are living from vanity or unkindness or pettiness, and we feel a cringe of conscience. This is a good thing. This is the experience of remorse, which arises when we become acutely aware that we are going against our true nature, against the heart that seems to awaken. We can feel the pain we cause others as well as ourselves, and this experience is almost always sobering. In fact, perhaps as much as anything, the pain of remorse can motivate a profound desire for us to live more genuinely, with more authenticity. From the pain of deep humiliation, from seeing how we go against our own true nature, real humility helps us to awaken. An interesting and sometimes very fruitful exercise in consciously experiencing remorse is to imagine, what would you like to have written on your tombstone? Just like the wake-up that Alfred Nobel experienced when he realized he might be remembered simply as the inventor of dynamite, we can be equally sobered when we see what we might be remembered for. What do you want your tombstone to say? Could never admit that when they were wrong, angry, and died. Or she held on to her resentments until her dying day. Or he died, never having given back. These may be exaggerations, but we all have big lapses in which we forget what is most important. The point is, we don't have to wait until we're dead to remember. We can use the little deaths, those moments when we see when we're being petty, when we're being unkind, when we're being unforgiving, to remind us that the most important thing is to live from the gratitude and the kindness of an awakened heart. If you're ever holding on to resentment, perhaps the words of Black Elk will come to mind. It is in the darkness, he says, in our own eyes that we lose our way. With the pain of remorse, this realization can help us to move out of our self-centeredness and to move into a more open and genuine way of living. End quote. So it's that time of year again, and we fit optimism. Many of us feel we made great promises to ourselves about what we're going into the new year, which usually lasts till about the second or third week of January. Now I see it when I go to the gym to swim because it's more crowded now. At 5:30, it's more crowded, which I don't really like because I like having my own lane, that kind of thing. But I know in a couple of weeks, if I can just be patient, then I'll be gone. And I'm not, well, how many of you made resolutions in 2023? It's 2024, and some of you have said, I've said, it's going to be different this year. And so some of you may have made a couple of New Year's resolutions that I know you'll be able to keep for the next year. So this morning I want to talk to you about these resolutions and some commitments which I guarantee it, if you do it, if I do it, will make a radical difference in our lives in the coming year. So I want to offer you these suggestions that will change your life. So if you will make these two commitments, I guarantee the start of 2024 will become one of the most significant years of your life. The first one is to forget your failures. Just commit yourself to forgetting your failures, or what we would call failures, because there are 2 days of the year which nothing can be done. Yesterday and tomorrow. You can't change yesterday, but you can ruin today by worrying about tomorrow. Now, I don't know of any more relevant and practical advice to start 2024. Mary, tell me if this is starting to seem like Al-Anon. There is a Zen saying, not Al-Anon, but let go or be dragged. People say let go and let God. But either way, we have to learn to let things go. All of us have failed at something in our lives over the last year. And because we live in celebrity culture, some people, entertainers, athletes, they fail in their private and public lives, but we get to see it all because we live in that kind of culture. And most likely we won't see our stuff, well, hopefully, for posterity on TV or YouTube or the newspapers, but our failures are recorded in our hearts. For many of us, our failures are painful memories. But maybe for you, it may be you failed in a relationship. Well, welcome to the club. You made wrong decisions. You said and did the wrong things, and the relationship may have ended. Some of you are parents who probably know that in some way, on some level, at some time, you failed your children in some way. Many of us are aware that we failed our parents, and it's more than likely that most of us know that most of us have probably failed ourselves. So we must not allow ourselves to be, it's a long year, and we're 14 days in. And so we must not allow ourselves to be bogged down by our past failures. My greatest mistakes have been my teachers. They've been my teachers. And it's easy to forget that. And guess what? Sometimes it's a blessing to get things. It's sometimes when things don't go your way, that's a good thing. It's a good thing. Being stuck in the past, dwelling in our past, living in the past, keeps us from going forward into the future that awaits us. So I think that this new year is a good time for you, to rise to that challenge, to say to ourselves, I'm going to let go of the past mistakes, and I'm going to stop torturing myself about what I did or didn't do. Okay, this is a good time to start. Secondly, I want you to commit to give up your grudges. What is a grudge? A grudge is a deep, ongoing resentment that we cultivate in our hearts against someone else. A grudge is an unforgiving spirit that leads to unforgiving attitudes and unforgiving actions. And I know you know what I'm talking about, so I don't have to go too much deeper into that. But harboring a grudge is nursing a dislike that you may have of someone. What you need to know is that grudges are dangerous because they are destructive. They destroy marriages, they ruin friendships, they will split churches. Many churches, let's be honest, whatever denomination, mosque, whatever, have to admit that one of the scandals of any of these houses of worship are the grudges that are held against one another. Today, if you know you are holding a grudge against someone, I say give it up. Now, I want to remind you that grudges are not just destructive, they are also self-destructive. And I want to be clear here. You can let go of a grudge and say, I need to stay away from this person. You know, Maya Angelou said that when someone shows you who they are, you need to believe them. But you need to and so you can still move on. It's like forgiveness. I can forgive you for something and say, I just can't have you in my life. So I'm not trying to tell you to be phony or not authentic. But I want to remind you that grudges are self-destructive. When you hold a grudge against someone, you will hurt yourself as much, and perhaps more than the person you're holding it against. Because they might as well leave a ball and chain on your leg, and you walk around with that. Make no mistake about it. If you are harboring a grudge, it will destroy you. If not physically, certainly emotionally and spiritually, it will make you a bitter and twisted person. So you need to learn to forgive. We need to learn to forgive. All genuine spiritual teachings say that is the key to cultivating your inner life. Forgiveness is learning to accept the apology you never got. One of the most hardest things I've had to do is to forgive someone who wasn't sorry about what they did. Forgiveness is the scent the rose leaves on the heel that crushes it. Forgiveness is crucial to living life because it allows us to move on. Now remember, forgiveness and letting go are a process. So it's not like, okay, Mike, boy, I'm going out here, I'm done with that. No, it may take time. It can and certainly does take time. The Buddha teaches that holding on to anger and resentment is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. Unforgiving people always wind up in prison. The prison of their own anger and their guilt and their own depression. Who wants to be around that, man? One of the most significant things that you can do to mark the new year is not to have a toast, which toasts are good, but to admit your past errors in relationships and humbly seek forgiveness from the one you've hurt. So will you rise to that challenge and make a commitment to restore your broken relationship in this new year? If it is what you need to do. If it's not something you need to do, if you just need to distance yourself and go on, that's okay, but make sure you're just not holding on to this. Listen to this story. During a generation, we'll call the kid Michael. He's quarreling with his parents. And Michael says to his dad, listen, I can't live my life. I've had to be me, and I need to get out of this household. He says, I want adventure. I want excitement. I want money. I want women. I can't stay here anymore. I'll die if I remain here. So I've got to live my life, Dad, not yours. And don't try and stop me. And Michael heads to the door. His father gets up and follows close behind him. He says, didn't you hear what I said, Dad? Please, I don't want you to try and stop me. Dad says, who's trying to stop you? I want to go with you. Hold on a minute, let me get my coat. Do you have a quick temper that you constantly give into? Not going to ask for a show of hands. Do you possess a caustic tongue that lashes out at others, a mouth that is constantly assassinating other people's characters or wounding their feelings? Are you manipulating or are you passive aggressive? Do you even know? Have you learned to live with that critical, judgmental attitude you know is wrong? Do you possess an unforgiving spirit that leads to unforgiving attitudes and unforgiving actions? It isn't easy, but it's necessary. I had to learn, for instance, to forgive the person who murdered my brother. Now, they never caught this individual, but I had to go on. I had to go on. I had to channel that anger into something a little more constructive, and that's what he would have wanted me to do. In the gospel story of Matthew, the teacher Jesus says that before you go to the temple and leave your sacrifice or gift at the altar, go and reconcile with your brother or sister before you come to offer your gift. If you haven't done that, then don't come to the altar. In other words, how can I be in heaven and joy when I know my brother or sister is in hell? Come to the altar with a clean heart and intentions. The teaching of the Buddha, who says that holding on to anger is like grasping a hot coal with the intent of throwing it at someone. You know what's going to happen. You're going to burn the you-know-what out of yourself. Here's a story. A wife and daughter are driving and laughing together when another car careens into their lane, and they are gone instantly. The other driver is thoroughly drunk in celebration of his first child. At home, in trauma and desolation, the bereaved husband, after some days, becomes aware of one person who is suffering more than he is. He drives to the young man's house, he knocks on the door, and he confronts him. He says 2 quiet sentences: "Do not be afraid. I've come to forgive you." Pain is part of life. Whoever told you life was fair, you got God. And we all do. Sometimes you're the fly, sometimes you're the windshield. And I don't know. I like Nietzsche. He's one of my favorites. But maybe he was right when he said that he doubted whether or not pain improves us, but he said he did know that pain deepened us. Life is not always fair, and sometimes we do all the right things and we still wind up losing. Grow up. It happens. We may act with good intentions toward others, and those intentions may go unappreciated or misinterpreted. When we hold grudges, when we do not or cannot forgive, when we are challenged not to retaliate against those who have hurt us, we are doing our work. We're doing our psychological work. We're doing our spiritual work. We're doing our interior work. We are freeing ourselves. Gandhi said that the strong, only the weak are the people who can't forgive. Only the strong can forgive. Socrates wrote that it's better to suffer an injustice than it is to have committed one. So this is because the body and mind may be damaged by injustice from others, but it is our spirit that is damaged by revenge and holding grudges. And we don't live in the society that we would like to. It's not as evolved as we would like it to be. This is what we work on. The society we all wish to live in, a society maintained by spiritual consciousness, the desire for retribution is replaced with the desire for restoration. What passes as justice in this society is really revenge. And so we want to reconcile, not excommunicate. Sadly, we don't live in this type of world as yet. If someone treats us unfairly in our personal life, the challenge is to make sure something changes in our relationship, not to make sure the person is punished, for in reality, the punishment comes in the consequences of their actions. This is the law of life. You reap what you sow. Now, it may not happen exactly when you want it to, but this is the law. This is the law. What you do comes back to you. The former plan comes from a wish for healing. The latter comes from a bruised ego who wants to hurt back. Imagine the mature consciousness that produced the following poem by Shantideva. He was an 8th century Indian Buddhist teacher. His prayer is, may those whose hell is to hate and hurt be turned into lovers bringing flowers. So instead of saying that those who hate and hurt belong in hell, he notices with compassion, what must it feel like to have that much pain, to have that much hurt and hate inside? Instead of revenge and holding a grudge, he prays for what? Their transformation. And at the same time, this philosophy is on the planet. A few thousand miles to the west, the 8th century Hebrew prophets are talking about social justice for the widow and the poor. Are you willing to make these two commitments for 2024? Will you commit to yourself to forget your failures? Will you commit to yourself to give up your grudges and restore your relationships?
Yes.
All of us, amen. All of us need closure. I get it. At some point in our lives. All great events cast a shadow before them, and we get caught up in the shadow. Why? I don't know. Got you. I don't know. If I knew that, we'd split the Nobel Prize money. But I think I know how. Nietzsche, right? He says, if you can find the why of life, you can endure anyhow. I think because we move on to things without closure. Right? We don't finish the unfinished business. We jump into something new without understanding the old. We think we can start a new relationship when we're still angry about the old one. We think we can find new, better, and better paying employment when we're still upset about what happened at the last job. Maybe we got fired, or maybe, you know what I mean? We haven't let go of the rope. You can't move into something bigger, better, or brighter than what you had until you clear your feelings about the old situation, what you learned and what you're taking with you. Without closure, without letting go of your grudges, well, you know what I'm saying. Until today, you may have felt compelled to move on without forgiveness, without closure, without forethought. We all do. But just be still a moment. I'm just going to ask you now. We're almost done. Just be still a moment. And take a deep breath. Just breathe. Do it one more time. Just breathe. And just breathe one more time. See, that's your natural state. That is how you are naturally, without the noise and the BS and the Trump and the Ukraine, and this is what you are. See, you can deal with those things when you're coming from this. But when you're jacked up, man, I can control you like I can. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. And if I can control you, if I can push your buttons, you belong to me. You belong to me. Governments know this really, really well. They know how to do it. Organizations know how to do it. This new year will be something to celebrate. It's going to be rough. There's going to be some surprises. But if you make forgiveness the heart of having the courage right here today, you will navigate, you will negotiate. Forgive yourself, forgive the past, forgive others who have hurt you, whether they forgive you or not. Ask for forgiveness if you feel that you need to do that, and live at peace. I know it's not easy. I got my own list to work. It's long, but I got time. I'm going to do it. Because one of the most consuming things in life is to have an enemy. It takes a lot of energy to have an enemy. Even Will Shakespeare reminds us about mercy. You remember this, right? In The Merchant of Venice. The quality of mercy is not strained. It droppeth as the gentle rain from heaven upon the place beneath. It blesseth him that gives and him that takes. I I want to end with this prayer. We're getting out on time. Spirit of life, whose demands cannot be answered, and let's be real, and whose answers cannot be demanded. Forgive our illusions, especially the illusion of being separate from one another. Teach us to learn and accept our true relationship with you and each other, where no illusions can ever enter. May I be fair in all my dealings and generous in all my givings. And may I ask for fairness from others, but not demand it or punish them if they fail to show it to me. May it always be so. Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you. Happy New Year. Thank you. All right, that was it. We got work to do. Our last hymn, number 162, is apropos after what we just talked about. We're going to lay down the sword and shield. Yeah. Okay. Please rise as you are willing and able. Let's lay down the sword and shield. Number 162, closing hymn.
Lay down my sword and shield, down by the riverside, down by the riverside, down by the riverside. Gonna lay down my sword and shield, down by the riverside. Oh, no more. I ain't gonna study war no more. I ain't gonna study war no more. Ain't gonna study war no more. I ain't gonna study war no more. Ain't gonna study war no more. Ain't gonna study war no more. Lay down my burden, down by the riverside, down by the riverside, down by the riverside. Gonna lay down my burden, down by the riverside. Gonna study war no more. I ain't gonna study war no more. Ain't gonna study war no more. Ain't gonna study war no more. I ain't gonna study war no more. Ain't gonna study war no more. Ain't gonna study war no more. Gonna shake hands around the world, and everywhere I go, everywhere I go, everywhere I roam. Gonna shake hands around the world, and everywhere I go. Gonna study war no more. I ain't gonna study war no more. Ain't gonna study war no more. Ain't gonna study war no more. I ain't gonna study war no more. Ain't gonna study war no more. Ain't gonna study war no more.
Okay, y'all, give Bill and Sue some love. Give her some love. Happy King Day. I love hugging you. I don't have any symptoms of anything, but I was around some sick people at a hospital. I feel a little tired. Don't hug me. And next week, closing words are this. In a nation full of Floridas, be a Colorado. Be a Maine. Happy King Day.
Do you know Michael Hughes? I don't think I do.
I know.
Mother Mary comes to me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be. And in my hour of darkness, she is standing right in front of me, singing words of wisdom, let it be. Let it be, let it be. Let it be, oh, let it be. Singing words of wisdom, let it be. And when the broken-hearted people living in the world agree, there will be an answer, let it be. Though they may be parted, there is still a chance that they will see. There will be an answer, let it be. Let it be, let it be, let it be, oh, let it be. There will be an answer, let it be. Let it be, let it be, let it be, oh, let it be. Whisper words of wisdom, let it be. And when the night is cloudy, there is still the light that shines on me. Shine until tomorrow, let it be. I wake up to the sound of music, Mother Mary sings to me, singing words of wisdom, let it be, yeah. Let it be, let it be, let it be, oh, let it be.